Good morning, everybody. Josh Ezel, Breakthrough Real Estate Property Management and Handyman Services. Today's story is something that actually means so much to me. So it's a huge honor to share it with you, and hope you enjoy. If you're enjoying these tidbits, please hit that like and subscribe button right now so you don't miss any of the awesome stuff we have coming out in the future. And while you're at it, check out all those links below. Check out our website for handyman property management. And if you're an agent looking for a new brokerage, we would love to chat. Let's jump right in. This story has taken a lot for me to actually get to the point of being able to tell anybody, much less share it to the world. So this story truly means a lot for you to hear, watch, and I'm gonna do my best. So back in 2008, 2009, I had just gotten married and we had purchased a home in Surprise, right there off of Reams and Bell. Had a great group of friends. I was in a band. I had just started my real estate career. Seemed like things were amazing. One Sunday morning, my wife, we had woken up early and she's like, hey, you know what? We got this really big church in our neighborhood. I think there was somebody from like American Idol or something like that went to this church. You know, let's go check it out. So I was like, absolutely. A little bit of background on me. I'm a pastor's kid. My dad still pastors a church up in Black Canyon City. I've worked with youth group and kids all throughout my past. Been affiliated with churches and church groups pretty much my entire life. So for her to mention going to church meant the world to me. I was like, let's go. We went to Radiant Church. We had a great time. So the following Sunday, went to church. Had a great time, and honestly I thought that this was like bringing the family together. We were coming together on like a moral ground, you know what I mean? It was happy. Little did I know, she had been carrying on a relationship with an ex-boyfriend from high school back east, albeit it was a remote relationship. When it came to my attention, instead of any devotion to what I would have hoped for the family, she just flat out said, nope, I'm moving back east to pursue that relationship. And that was that. Instantly, my world fell apart. The house was actually in her name, and well, let's just say this. I literally celebrated my 30th birthday by moving back in with my parents, with my daughter. The lowest point of my life, pretty much, right there. And not to get down, because this is not a sob story, okay? While we had moved back in with my parents, for some reason that next Sunday, in spite of everything, Molly and I still woke up, and instead of driving, inside of our neighborhood to church, we went from Peoria to Surprise. We went to church, and it was happy. The next Sunday, again, went to church. Fast forward about a month or two, and they put out their announcement that there was going to be the big Easter service, and they were looking for volunteers, and on all departments. My daughter, I think she had just entered second grade at that point in time, maybe first grade. I was like, yeah, well, I have my background with kids and churches, so let's go ahead, let me do this. So went ahead and signed up to make sure I was in the same age group as Molly. So Easter Sunday, it's the Super Bowl Sunday of churches. We show up early, and there's a massive tent on this campus. This tent is larger than my dad's church. Walk in, big old stage, band, people all over, and there are just hundreds of kids just having fun. That day, something changed in my heart, being at that church, being in that atmosphere, just being surrounded by so many wonderful people. Let's just say that. working with kids in the past, that's the one time that I don't think about anything. I have no shame. I just have fun with the kids. So the moment it started, bouncing up and down the aisles, doing gymnastics, showing off, hooting, hollering, just screaming, just having fun with the kids. And the more fun they have, that's the point, right? Needless to say, my team won. We had a blast. When we left that day, it was Molly and I went and it was the first great day we've had in quite a while. The following week, I go to drop Molly off at the church. This guy named Jason is there, and he's doing his thing because he's one of the teachers, the main guy there. He takes me aside. He's like, "Hey, Josh, you did great last week. What do you say you volunteer again? Next Sunday, why don't you, come back and volunteer here?" And I was like, "Absolutely, that sounds awesome. Thank you for the opportunity." There were like hundreds and hundreds of kids in that tent. The average service in just like Molly's age group is the same size as my dad's church. There's like easily 60, 70 kids, on any given service. So for me, I'm just thinking, wow, this is as big as my dad's church. This is like, I'm pastoring. This is neat. So come back the following week, I get to be a team leader. And so for the next few weeks, team leader, and then, the kids start volunteering and wanting to be in my group, and it's a blast, right? And so at that point in time, the leader in that room is like, "Hey, Josh, you're doing great with the kids. You're having fun. Why don't you come on stage and, help with the music and stuff?" So I get up there and I started helping with the music and things like that. So up on stage, acting like silly, and just having fun. After a few more weeks, they're like, "Why don't you lead the music?" I can't sing, but I still was having fun. So I'm up there in front of everybody just singing horribly. And apparently they loved it because a few months later, they invited me to teach a service. One of the most nerve-wracking things I've ever done. And to this day, I'm still grateful for that opportunity because it changed so many directions for my life at that point. And I started focusing back on the church. I actually went back to school, to Arizona School of Ministry. Then there was my business, and it motivated me to get back to work. Everything that happened good for the next few years stemmed from everything from getting back to that church, meeting that group of people, and then just devoting myself there. I found my next girlfriend eventually came from that same class, and we were together for quite a while. I was very happy. Years pass. I end up going back to work with my dad's church because it started taking off, and I wanted to help start a youth group over there. And then that led to me starting my brokerage, and then so I ended up working like 7 days a week, launching 3 businesses. My life went this way. Meanwhile, Jason, who availed me these opportunities to begin with, who was my mentor, who kind of guided me through everything. He was the person I'd speak to when I had issues, concerns, good things. It was so fun making videos together. I mean, he's such an amazing person. He ended up getting offered a wonderful position at a huge church in California. Fast forward years later, he's in California. He rented out his house. He found a great tenant right off the bat, and his tenants renewed and renewed and renewed. So fast forward even years after he moved, his tenants are finally moving out. We stayed in contact. So he calls me up out of the blue and he's like, "Hey Josh, can you manage our property?" It's funny how it comes full circle because this man changed my life. He saved my life. In the most literal context, this man saved my life. And that church and that community and everything that surrounded the next few years, all the way up to like family theater, it saved my life. And I wouldn't be here today without it. To this day, every time I see Jason's name on any of our papers, whenever I have to do anything pertaining to his property, he to this day, he's like my brother. It's a happy place. And I can't help but be grateful for what happened. And as much as I hate to say it, if it wasn't for my ex-wife, I don't hate to say it actually, I take that back completely, I would not have my real estate career if it wasn't for my ex-wife. I wouldn't have my life today with my brokerage if it wasn't for Radiant Church at that point in time, specifically Jason and everybody else affiliated, from your wife to Tim to Cammie, everybody. So big hugs to all of you if you're watching, and thank you so much for watching, guys. Please tell me your most meaningful story. Who's one of the people you're most grateful for in this world? What's one of the craziest, I hate to say it, but what is the most painful thing you've been through that turns out to be one of the greatest things that ever happened in your life? Right? Please share below, message me, please comment while you're at it, hit like and subscribe. We'll talk to you next week.